Let's factor the expression 6x squared plus 17x minus 3. Okay, the first thing that we always do is check to see if we have a common factor. 6, 17, and negative 3. There's nothing except for 1 that goes into all three of those. Okay, so we don't have a common factor. Next thing we'll have to do here is multiply 6 times negative 3. 6 times negative 3 is negative 18. I need two numbers that multiply together to give me negative 18, but if I add those same two numbers together, I get positive 17. Multiply together to be negative 18, add together to be positive 17. Okay, so what? 1 times negative 18, negative 1 times positive 18. We could have 2 times negative 9. We could have negative 2 times positive 9. We could do 3 negative 6, negative 3 positive 6, and that's it. Okay, so now let's add them up. 1 plus negative 18 is negative 17. That's no good. Negative 1 plus 18 is positive 17. Check. Oh, those are my two numbers right there. Okay, I kind of wasted time going through all of these. So I'm going to use that information to split up 17x. Okay, so bring down 6x squared, bring down minus 3, leave a plus in between, because I am going to put negative 1x and positive 18x there. Remember, those two together are 17x, right? So you can see how these two are connected. Negative 1x plus 18x is 17x. So I can split 17x up into those two. So, okay, so why would I do that? Well, now the idea is that I want to group together the first two terms and the last two terms. Okay, I want to do that so I can focus on them one at a time. 6x squared minus 1. 6x squared minus 1. Those two terms have a common factor. They both have an x to the first power, right? This one has two x's, this one has 1, so they both have at least one x. Okay, well, let's say I'm dividing that x out. I'm factoring it out. If I divide out that x, what am I going to be left with? Well, 6x squared divided by x is just 6x. And negative 1x divided by x is negative 1. Okay, now what about between 18x and negative 3? Well, both of those are divisible by positive 3. Okay, well, if I divide out that positive 3, 18x divided by 3 will give me 6x. And negative 3 divided by 3 will give me negative 1. This is starting to look familiar, right? Now, this is the hardest part to see, but this is the easiest step. You have this expression here consists of two terms, right? X times 6x minus 1 plus 3 6x minus 1, right? You have two terms. Notice the two terms have a common factor. Their common factor is 6x minus 1. Oh, wow. So 6x minus 1 is the common factor. I'm going to write that in black. Okay. Well, whenever you take out a common factor, remember you're dividing it out. So if I divided out 6x minus 1 here, I'm left with x. And if I divide this one by 6x minus 1, I'm left with plus 3, right? The leftovers, x plus 3. So you get rid of all this out the way. I'm left with x plus 3. There it is, 6x minus 1 times x plus 3. Okay, so that was the explanation. You have a common factor. You put the common factor in the front. When you take away the common factor, you're left with an x and a 3. Right? Now, in practice, all you do is check to see if your parentheses match, and if they do, which they should. If they don't match, you've done something wrong. If they match, you go ahead and just write them as a single parenthesis. And then you create a brand new set of parentheses to hold the x plus 3 and put that there. Okay, so again, 6x squared plus 17x minus 3 is the same thing as 6x minus 1 times x plus 3.